Welcome to the show. Now please strap in for the truth and remember the words of the great Tom Cruise.
I want the truth! You can't handle the truth!
Now welcome to Off Topic on Porn.
All right, we are back on another episode of OTOP. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever this may find you. And tonight we are joined by the whole panel. I am Rob Looper, Russell, Travis, and James. We're all on tonight. All right, fellas, how's everybody doing?
Great.
Doing good.
Doing awesome, man.
Travis is a mute this evening. He is just going to nod. For those of you listening, he's just nodding and giving
I'm
a
good,
thumbs up.
Rob. I'm good. He's the cerebral one of our group.
That's right. He's the cerebral assassin. So we're going to jump right in tonight because the world is jumping off. So tonight we're going to cover a couple topics. We're going to cover Candace Owens and an interesting documentary that she has put out. And we're going to cover the obvious topic of, Russell's using air quotes for those of you who can't see, the documentary. Okay. And we're going to cover the Iran war. That is, or offensive, whatever you want to call it, but we're going to cover the Iran issue that's going on right now. So, first of all, Candace Owens is putting out and again, we'll use air quotes here, documentary. And so, Russell and James, give us a kind of a synopsis. You guys were ones that really kind of made us aware of this. Let us know what's kind of going on. So, we'll start with, I think, Russell, you kind of watched it, but James is really the SME on this, the subject matter expert. James, give us a kind of a rundown and tell us what's going on this.
Sure thing. The thing about Candace Owens, for those of you who don't know, she's a very conservative political commentator. She actually used to work for Turning Point USA, and she claims to be such a really good friend of Charlie Kirk, and not so much of Erika Kirk, his wife. She's making some serious allegations. She came out with a documentary called Bride of Charlie. And in this documentary, she makes these really heavy claims that the Zionists have taken over Turning Point. They actually were responsible for the murder and assassination of Charlie Kirk, and that Erika Kirk is basically in on it. She conspired to murder her husband.
So we're saying, again, in this documentary, I just want to be clear, Erika Kirk, the wife of Charlie Kirk, conspired to kill Charlie. That's one of the bases of her claims. Right. Okay, I just want to make sure. Okay, continue. I don't want to, but just okay. I just want to make sure we get. Okay, go ahead. Continue.
Yeah, and one of the allegations, one of the things she says in relation to that was Charlie wanted to interview her, but he wanted to date her. He wanted to marry her. And it's a situation where he's out of the picture, but all of a sudden, Erika Kirk is into all this money. She's now chairman and CEO of Turning Point USA. She's in on it. And the people that are bankrolling this whole thing are the Zionists, the people who support Israel, Benjamin Netanyahu and others, And the reason why they had to take him out was because of his questioning of the war in Gaza. So, because he turned his back on Israel, the Zionists, of course, you know how Zionists are.
Oh yeah,
the Israeli people are. They take you out, and they make it look like an accident. They make it look like a conspiracy.
Oh sure.
So this is someone who's produced this documentary. It's got millions of views, and it's really divided the conservative community because on the one hand, some people like her, Candace, because she is conservative, but on the other hand, the conservative community split because over their support for Israel. They're saying God's so-called chosen people.
Well, and some of us just don't like being gamed by anyone, whether they're conservative or not.
Yeah.
Nobody likes
Absolutely.
being gamed. And I think,
Right.
James, you made a point. It's the so-called, again, everything seems to be being blamed, or lately, everything is blamed on Israel, who is then, America's puppet. I don't know that they've really been anybody's puppet, really, anyway, but whatever. We're just
they're saying that they're saying that America is their puppet.
Either way, I'm not really sure that
Because
anything.
Jews control the world.
Well, yeah,
you control the world, Rob.
Well, look, I don't know that I want control. So let me just say this: I want the Lord to have control because I can't. You know what? I have a hard enough time. If you ask my wife, she'll let you know. Just kind of going through my day.
You're Jewish, and we know that you know what's going on, so you can tell us.
I
Go ahead and tell
know.
us what's all this stuff that you
Woo!
and all the other Jews in the world have
Well,
got conspired to keep
I,
to maintain control over
I don't
everything.
I don't want to say it out loud, but it's just one of those things, guys. You know what I'm saying? Look,
Yeah.
just know. You know what I mean? So come on. But no, it's just interesting that again we're gonna blame the Jews, and that just again it gets old after a while. But then the conspiracy theories. Now, James, let me ask you guys a question. Or Russell, you saw the documentary as well. You guys tell me how credible. When I say how credible, I already know the answer in the sense of credible. But I'm saying how in depth does the documentary go with its proof text? James, you're a journalist, so let me ask you a question.
Right.
How credible is this?
Some of the evidence that Candace Owens gives is she appeals to text messages that were allegedly sent. She talked about very passionately about, well, this person who's on staff, who's the right-hand person of Charlie Kirk, who didn't go to Utah Valley University, and Erika didn't go to Utah Valley University. She didn't go to this event. And and Erika in all her interviews says all these things that are lies. And if she's lying about Charlie's state of mind, Charlie's stance. If she's lying about those things, what else is she lying about? Well, obviously, the greater the lesser. If she's lying about little things, of course, she's lying about bigger things like, oh, conspiring to have her husband assassinated. She's saying that the reason why Erika Kirk did not go to Utah Valley University is because she knew that something was amiss and that he would be murdered.
Which is
That's
which the whole first of all, Candace's allegation is a non sequitur. Just because somebody doesn't show up to an event, it does not necessarily follow that they have some kind of a sinister motive or there was some ulterior motive behind it. It might simply have been there was something else going on that she was tending to.
Right. Well,
well,
And
like
and
for,
and and also the Charlie's assistant, the same thing. Y'all know how organizations work, guys, and
sure. Yeah.
sometimes you divide and conquer. I mean, it's ridiculous to draw a conclusion from non-evidence like that, but that is pretty much standard fare for her.
Well, okay. So, James,
yeah,
I have a question
Uh,
because it seems like
sure.
conjecture and speculation. Let me ask you a question
But,
that I think will. I just did Erika Kirk go to every college event that Charlie Kirk did?
but no, and in fact, Candace's evidence is that Erica apparently said on an interview the reason why she didn't go to that event was because Charlie wanted her home to take care of the kids.
Okay.
So she said, "Okay, I'll stay home."
Yeah. So, Mike, but again, I
She
guess
did not go
my
to
thing
any
is,
event.
we
yeah,
poke holes in these.
she was not, Rob. She was not
Right.
always at every event.
That's what I thought.
Okay, so that
She's been a
just
speaker.
adds more to the non sequitur argument
Yeah.
that she's making.
And that just,
It's not an argument. In fact, and I'm just going to say this,
yeah.
you guys hear me say this from time to time. The congregation hears me say this from time to time. A question is not an argument.
Sure. No, I
And,
got
not
it.
and her
evidence.
stuff, what's that,
It's
James?
not evidence. The question is not evidence.
It's not an evidence and it's not an argument.
Yeah.
It's neither one. And yet her stuff is filled to the hilt with, well, why did it do this? And why did she say that? And why did this? It's full of that kind of stuff. I'm sorry, you're not building a case that way.
Yeah.
You might dupe a bunch of people who want to. People like to talk about Zionists worshiping Israel, but her followers worship her. I think a lot of them do,
I
Yeah.
agree.
and of
I
course
agree
she
with
can
that.
do no wrong. So they're paying homage to her, and she can dupe them with this kind of stuff. But people who are free-thinking individuals, that's not going to play well, and it doesn't play well with us.
No, you're right. And I think, this free thinking and you just said free thinking, and it kind of that free thinking leads us kind of into, because you can connect this to our next topic. So let's go ahead and connect this to the Iranian conflict that's going on right now. So I know, again, you guys had talked about that. Travis is one of our people as well on that who's been watching that. So, Trav, we'll let you have the first word on that. You've been relatively quiet. Um, tell us what's going on, because again, you also served in the military, so you have a different also perspective from all of us. Because thank you for your service, and we appreciate that. So give us a little synopsis, then we'll go around the table. Let's connect this all.
All right. So, if you're not aware, you probably haven't turned on the television or internet at this point, but
Yeah.
We have struck Iran. Soleimani is deceased, confirmed. Pretty much all the top leaders in the Iranian regime are gone at this point. We do unfortunately have 3 service members that have lost their lives, and we pray for their families and their
Absolutely.
fellow soldiers.
Yeah.
It's a tough thing to deal with, but here we are, the United States and Israel. Because Israel's controlling everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Sorry, guys.
Yeah. Including
Yeah.
especially the United States. I
Rob
mean, we're just
again,
their
of
puppet,
course.
Sorry.
So we have this going on. What I've found very odd is Iran has chosen not only to hit U.S. and American targets, but now they've hit up to 12 other countries.
Yeah.
Now, on that side, most of these countries house U.S. troops in some capacity, and that'll be what they say. But I know that the governments most have made statements so far saying, this is unacceptable. Saudi Arabia has already said they are willing to take military action against Iran. It looks like some of the European countries are en route to either work as help defend Israel and the U.S. assets as we attack. So as of right now, we're looking at a global war that has just started. And I'm not going to say World War III because I don't personally believe that's what we're seeing here. And for those who are believers that follow our show, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So all these countries play into that, but we look at what's going on, and Israel and the United States gave Iran so many chances. We've had 40, 50 years of this regime of where they've just ruled basically the Middle East with an iron fist, and they have their proxies in pretty much every country that surrounds Israel. So this is the continuance of cutting the head off the snake. It had to happen. They were killing their own people in the street. Estimates of 30,000 plus civilians have been killed by the Iranian regime. These people were doing nothing other than protesting what was going on, and they killed them dead in the streets. Um, I'm currently trying to keep up with what's going on. It's just a massive event that is taking place. Interesting, just happened not long ago, is the newest president that was elected as of like 6 or 12 hours ago has already been eliminated. So they're going to have to pick the next guy to be the leader. So there's
Not
a
a
lot going
popular
on.
job, I'm guessing. So
Yeah, I'm sure it's not hey, I'm willing to do that kind of thing.
no.
So anyway, that's kind of where we're at, and I could talk for hours. But
Yeah. So Russell, James, go ahead and jump in. You guys, because you guys had talked. I mean, with the Candace Owens connection. I mean, this is where and I'm not sure how. Because again, I can't stomach
Well,
some of the
look,
stupidity. But I mean,
so people like Candace Owens and Tucker Carlson, and I even heard Benny Johnson. I watched a piece of one of his podcasts this evening, and he's raising questions because there were, I think, 3 Americans that have been killed in the conflict so far.
That's correct.
So he says he was asking the question, well, is this worth it? Can you sell it to the American people and all that? And I don't think he falls where the other 2 do, but it's like, I'm thinking, well, some of us are plugged in enough to understand already why this was a good thing. I really don't want to. I'm not desirous of being nuked. I don't know about you guys.
no.
No.
But I
no,
really
no.
would just like it if they didn't have the ability to do that, and
Sure.
they were getting close to it, and that is enough justification. And I'm sorry, but this America only stuff, when it gets taken to the extreme of saying that we shouldn't be doing anything in the Middle East, that's just moronic talk.
Sure.
And I've noticed, and forgive me, all you guys are younger than me, okay? So obviously present company accepted. But I've noticed it's much younger guys than me who are saying this kind of stuff. Candace Owens, Tucker Carlson. It's these Johnny-come-latelys who don't know the full history, haven't experienced a lot of the history in recent decades, in the last 5 or 6 decades, and they're just coming off of whatever their assumptions are. I was there. I was in high school when the hostages were taken in 1979.
That's right.
And the Shah was ousted. I remember it very clearly. We were talking about it in high school, in our government classes and so forth. So I remember this all very well, and I remember how pathetic a job Jimmy Carter did in trying to deal with it. And I remember how quickly, when Ronald Reagan won the election, how quickly they turned things around and said, "Oh, we want to negotiate." All of a sudden, they weren't negotiating up to that point. This is who that regime is. This regime is a byproduct of the Muslim Brotherhood.
Right.
And the Muslim Brotherhood its tentacles reach all around the world, and its children are Hamas, Hezbollah, the Fulani, the Houthis, Boko Haram, all the ones we've ever named.
ISIS.
We have ISIS.
Yeah.
ISIS,
funded them as well.
absolutely. The Taliban, all of them.
Yes.
That is all. They are all a result of that organization, and so it's just naive for people to think that this is anything except necessary. And the fact that we're partnering with arguably our very best ally in the world, Israel, to get this done well, it's not stupid, because these people aren't stupid. This is sinister. I think Candace Owens is sinister. I'm going through a mortification where she's concerned. I think Tucker Carlson is sinister. And the reason I think that is because you can know what's going on. There's plenty of information and ways to get the information. You can tell the difference between anti-Jewish, anti-Semitic propaganda and the real information that's out there. And these people want to access the wrong stuff, and they want to ignore the actual information. So, James, I know you probably have something to say.
Well, Russell, on that
Absolutely.
though, James, let me break in just because I'm going
Go
to
ahead.
give you guys another talking point, and because something that Travis has said, I think, to me personally,
Yeah.
because he's our resident veteran, and my family's veterans, and Travis is a veteran. But there's a saying, and Travis has said this to me about the war, but it's a very famous saying that the blood of or the tree of liberty must be refreshed from time to time with the blood of patriots and tyrants. Iran. I mean, you said this. Travis said it. Russell, you said it. People are dancing in the streets. They're wanting freedom. And I will say this, and Travis, correct me at any point if I'm wrong on anything that I'm saying from the military. I have family that have served and are veterans, and you're a veteran, so I have the highest respect and honor of the military. But they know going in, this is a possibility, and is 3 lives too high? We don't ever want anybody to go in and get killed. But part of the honor and the reason we are so thankful for our military is they're willing to do and make that sacrifice. And we honor their families because their families are going through, those 3 families right now are going through the unthinkable because their military loved one decided it was honorable and worth making sure that our freedoms, and then in this instance, the freedoms of others, were put first. And so when people go, is it worth it? Well, man, in my opinion, we better make it worth it now, because it really is worth when they're going to attack us to make sure that we say, okay, this isn't going to happen. Not today, not on my watch. So Travis, did I get that right?
Yeah, absolutely. And I want to add something in. I want to tie some things together. And a lot of people overlook this, but I can look at this from a military perspective. I am an Iraq War vet. So I know a little bit about the region, the people, and the way things operate. This is absolutely 100% necessary to the safety of the United States. I'm sure that Russell and James have already heard, but there was an incident in Austin earlier today that has been declared a terrorist act. It was a Sudanese individual, I believe what they're saying, that killed 3, injured 14, or something like that. I'm not sure about the numbers, but I want to say something that most people don't think about, and I'm going to tie this to Israel. Israel is the only reason why they're not on our shores fighting us right now.
Yeah.
Israel is our ally, and basically in the military, I would call them a forward operation post for the United States. They're there dealing with the problems of the Middle East and Africa. And all we really most of the time have to do is provide them with the weaponry to continue to do what they do, because they're bar none the best in the world when it comes to intelligence.
Yeah.
That's why we were able to go in, and up until 24-hour mark, we had lost 0 service members,
Right.
which is unheard of. And this is, they're saying now, the largest air campaign in the history of the world. Basically what's going on right now, it's amazing. But if we're not fighting them there, we're going to be fighting them here.
That's right.
They don't go away.
Yeah.
If you don't know about what's going on right now in Europe, and I'm talking to the audience that's watching this, Europe is lost to Islam, bar none. City of London, done.
Right.
The United States and Israel is really the last hopes of getting rid of this.
Right.
And remember, there's other things to consider. We have all of South America that is not Muslim.
Right.
And so it's still not just us, but to Travis's point,
We're the only ones willing to put skin in the game.
and we're the only ones that really can resist this on the level that we can. The United States and Israel are it.
Yeah.
Right. James, I'm sorry, we were going to you. I just wanted to talk to Travis on the veteran issue.
No, that's fine.
Go ahead, buddy.
Yeah. My point was something we talked about before, as far as having divine intelligence. In the case of King Saul, God specifically told him, destroy the Amalekites. He didn't listen.
Right.
Yeah.
So centuries later, we
Yeah.
have an Agagite. Purim's coming up. It's
Yeah.
gonna be
Yep.
Purim tomorrow.
Tomorrow night.
And
Arab
in this
Purim.
story, this man, Haman, an Agagite, he is, what is the first thing he wants to do? Let's destroy all the Jewish people.
Right.
God already told you, get rid of this person, get rid of these people. They're going to be a thorn in your side. You don't wait. Like with respect to Iran, you don't wait until they're fully armed and nuclear weaponized and they're ready to press the button and kill us all to say, you know what, maybe we should do something.
Right.
The time to take them out is now, when they
Yeah.
can't threaten you.
Right.
Mhm.
No one's thinking about that.
Yeah.
And
No.
these are the
Yeah.
and these are the same people that say who teach in school, death to America, death to Israel.
Yeah.
It's ingrained in their thinking to attack and destroy our way of life.
Absolutely.
We can't picture them as a non-threat.
No.
They've always been a threat.
Well, yeah, and that's a way of thinking, and it's. I've told Travis this, and Russell, you and I have talked about this. I think James, you and I have had this conversation. We all find ourselves to be pretty, I don't want to say normal, but just people who can have a conversation. Normal's a setting on a dryer. But it is hard to negotiate with somebody when they start from a position of, okay, I need you dead. Well, okay, that's a
Yeah.
hard position to negotiate with. When you
I
come to the
insist
negotiation,
that you die.
yeah, I insist, and you not only that, but you have no right to exist. So that is a hard position to go, okay, well, let's negotiate, because you're coming to the negotiation table with such an extreme view. You know, people go, well, they have a right to exist. I'm not denying anyone's right to exist, but they have to acknowledge my right to exist as well. And the
When they
problem
make
is,
it a contest between my right to exist and their right to exist,
yeah,
they lose.
well, yeah, and I think that's the problem being,
And they're the ones that pick the fight, not us.
right. I think that's the thing we have to understand. We didn't go looking for a fight.
No.
They
That's right.
they started launching the missiles, and they're doing that. So, and that I think is the problem, is they're throwing the punches, and then they're not liking it when the punches are thrown back.
Right.
And that really becomes the issue. And
Yes.
you know, Israel has done a lot. They've tried to negotiate many times, and the problem is when you come to the negotiating table with, okay, so here are my demands. You cannot exist, and you must be wiped off the face of the earth. That is a tough position to negotiate from. When middle ground, you know, I'm not sure they're going to find that. You know, so that's kind of the part of the problem as well there too. When people go, they should negotiate. From where? From what? And they even try, which is, you know, still so. But anyway, gentlemen.
Hey, Rob.
Yeah, go ahead.
Hey, remember when you, myself, and Russell were in Israel last?
Yes, I do.
There was a rocket attack
Yes.
They
Yeah.
hit the country.
Yes.
I mean, it
It was
happens
fired
all the
from
time.
Yeah,
Hamas.
right. No, we were there.
believe it
Yeah,
was
and there was a
Hamas.
rocket attack
And
while
that
we
just
were there.
that kind and I appreciate James bringing that up because that is a commonplace thing there.
Yes.
And
That's
that just
Iran
never
like that.
gets mentioned. It never gets mentioned by these pompous, sanctimonious people like Candace Owens when they're talking about the horrible things that have happened to children in Gaza and stuff like that. And they're completely ignoring the children in Israel, not just on the October 7th event, but other things that led up to that. And
Well-
all of the incidents that never, ever get talked about.
Well, see, just so you guys know, I don't tell the story a lot, but because I've been there multiple times, and one time I was there for Hope for Israel, and I was in a town called Sderot, which has been hit so many times by Qassams from Gaza. Well, we went up on a lookout where I could see Gaza. We weren't obviously going to go into Gaza, but the gentleman there who was we were funding his missions work there, and the charity that he had. Well, we went up and we were over. It was looking, and you could see into Gaza, and Gaza could see us. Now, it was a good space. Don't get me wrong when I say this, but we were fired on by a machine gun. I could hear the pap, 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 and I asked what that was. And the guy said, "That's machine gun fire. They're firing at us." And I looked at him, and he goes, "It's not going to hit us, but they just want us to know that they're firing at us." So even when we're standing there and they can't hit us, they're willing to waste ammo so that we know they're firing. I mean, now again, I was safe and we were fine. I want to be really, really clear. But they're used to when they stand up on that hill, even though they can't hit them, they'll still fire. That's how much they just don't like. They don't like us because again, there was no fire, and the reason people go, "How do you know they were firing at you?" Well, because everything was quiet until we walked up on that hill, and as we're on that hill, and on the overlook, then all of a sudden, about 3 to 4 minutes later, pat, 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 and that sound, and so it was again. There's no I don't know how to say this any other way.
Well, they're firing at you.
Yeah, they're just
They're firing at
there's
you.
no
That's-
love
that's
lost.
enough
There's
said, man.
yeah, there's nothing.
Enough
so,
said. You're
yeah.
there, you're doing nothing, and they're firing at
Right.
you. Enough said.
Yeah, we're just there on humanitarian aid work. So,
Yeah.
but
And that's that kind of stuff's commonplace.
yeah, it really is.
I think
So,
so.
and that was where we also saw, and this is what I think drives the point home too, is we saw what are called, and Travis will know this because the bomb, and Russell, I think you know this because we saw the bomb shadows,
Mhm.
where you see it, where the Qassam rockets will hit, and if it's near somebody and there's a wall, it'll create the
Right.
the bomb shadow. So those were heartbreaking to see as well. So, but anyway, gentlemen, any final thoughts before we sign off? Any final?
I think that it would not hurt us to consider sometime in the near future exploring the theological reasons why people like Candace Owens and others are pursuing this, because there's this assumption they're making that they're right in their theology, and they just simply are not.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
and I'm sorry to say this, and I say this with apologies to my Catholic friends out there, and some of them are people who are not anti-Israel. Okay, so don't take this as me painting with a broad brush, but her Catholicism is a part of what is driving this.
Sure.
And I'll be happy to explain what I mean by that in a future episode.
Yeah,
I'll just
absolutely.
leave it hanging as a fodder to get people to come back.
So just like and comment and subscribe and let us know how soon you want to know that in the comments, or you can email us at otopnow@gmail.com and we will we'll answer you. So yeah,
And
absolutely.
I'm not the only one that knows about this.
No,
There's
no,
other
absolutely.
people on this, other guys on this panel that are capable of commenting also. So.
That's right. Anybody else, James? Anything else?
Mhm.
Travis?
Good evening, guys.
I'm good.
All right. Well, gentlemen, as always, it's been a pleasure. Always good to have the whole panel. And for all of our listeners out there, we love you. Share OTOP with somebody. And remember, we want you to remember this. As always, we sign off with this. You don't have to be off topic. Or on topic. You can go a little off topic, but you must always be on point. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye. Thank you for listening today to Off Topic On Point. We want to remind you of our email address if you'd like to contact us. It's otopnow@gmail.com. That's otopnow@gmail.com.
And as always, we want to leave you with this. It's okay to be off topic. Just make sure you're always on point. All right. We'll catch you on the next episode. Bye-bye.